guys, welcome back to another episode of I Am I. My name is Joshua Ansley, or at least that's the part that I'm playing. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. Right? So, that Shakespearean quote, all the world's a stage and men and women are merely players, is really quite a profound spiritual statement, right? When we actually get connected to that divine core of who we are, when we get connected to that space of the observer, the sakshi, the witness, it is a space that is completely detached from what's happening, not just in the world, but within what you understand yourself to be. So it's a deeper space than your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts and your opinions and your physical sensations, your pain, your happiness, your joy, your sorrow, everything. It's deeper than all of that, right? And so that it's not that any of this necessarily even has to go away. You actually get to experience all of it. You get to experience life on a deeper level because you're not so enmeshed with it, right? And when that happens, when you actually recognize that this is all a fucking play, that these people just played their parts. This is my third cemetery one. I think I like the cemetery ones, but because it's very sobering. It's a sobering thought to be like, these people had their experiences, all this life that they had, you know, whether it be something crazy and exciting or real simple and easy, whatever it was, they had these concepts and these thoughts and these ideas of how it should be, right? And there is a whole nother way to live is the point. Right? When you actually recognize, you do this work, you actually recognize that space that is behind all of it, and you get out of your own conditioning and your own thoughts of right and wrong, good and bad, and the way it should be or is supposed to be, right? When you step out of all of that, it's freedom, it's moksha, it's liberation. And I can't even express to you, I've had moments of it in my life. It's not even this bliss and this joy. That is still a physical emotion. That is still part of this physical reality. That's still part of you and your emotional states. When you actually remove yourself from all of that and you're completely detached, you don't become I'm not talking about disassociation and dissociative disorder or something like that. I'm not talking about becoming emotionless. Matter of fact, you can have all the emotions. You can actually experience and process all of your emotions because you're not enmeshed with them. So you're not trying to block any of them, right? And you're not attached to any of them, so you can let them go because it doesn't matter. You can actually sit through the pain, through the sorrow. You actually allow the happiness and joy because a lot of us don't even recognize that we actually stop. Our nervous systems are not even developed enough to have the amount of happiness and joy that we can actually let into our lives. That we actually are not conditioned for it yet, so we have to stop it, right? But when you recognize that space of detachment, the whole thing becomes a big fucking game. The whole thing becomes a big fucking game, right? When we let go of this idea of good and bad and right and wrong, see, the Eastern philosophy and Hindu understanding doesn't really go with good and bad and right and wrong, right? It goes with more of an ignorance. So, you know, we think that evil people do evil things, right? Pulled by the devil or some idea, this archetypal space. Most of us know that that's a bunch of archetypal nonsense, right? Not nonsense, but archetypal teaching, right? But to really understand that it's not even that evil people, whether it be terrorists or just somebody that smacks you or is an asshole on the street, right? It's born out of ignorance. That they were born out of ignorance, that these actions and these steps that they take are born out of ignorance, right? Hold on, let me, whoop, close. All right, so when you actually release yourself from being stuck in that conditioning, right? Because that's all you are. The way you see the world, there are so many different ways of viewing the world. And a lot of ideas when you get into spirituality, it's like you should be this way. It should be this, or the 10 Commandments, or the yamas and the niyamas, which they say the shoulds and the should nots. It's really not. It's really the do's and the don'ts. And it's really a way to operate and to train this mind, because when you recognize that none of it means a goddamn thing, and you can really do whatever the fuck you want, if you knew and understood that there was really no fucking somebody sitting there going to punish you, that there is a law of karmic action and reaction, that there will be, for every action there was an equal and opposite reaction. And when you actually understand that you're going against your deeper sense of self when you do those things, And that's where the mental agitation comes from, is going against a deeper sense of who you are, and that we're denying deeper aspects of who we are. But if we dig into those deeper aspects, into the shadow, into the darkness, into all of it, and cast light on all of it, it really comes from a space beyond the light and dark entirely, right? And when you understand that you are not trapped, that's where freedom comes from. And then it all becomes a big fucking game. And then you can do whatever the hell you want, right? But you won't just do whatever the hell you want, because you have this understanding from this space. And that's why if you actually detached and became completely free from it without having this understanding, right? Without understanding how to relate healthily through your emotions and understand the positive emotions, right? Then you would just be completely detached and do whatever the heck you want, right? And a space of just, then you'd still be operating from the mind, right? But this is a space that is completely outside of the mind that we're talking about, doing whatever you want. You don't do whatever you want. You have to have a healthily, properly trained mind so that you still follow some sort of path of understanding of how to operate well in this world and relate to other beings and relate to this world. The space that I'm talking about is not relative to anything. It actually is everything, and it runs through everything as the observer. Is completely untainted, unmoving, unchanging. That is who you are. And from that space, you can actually enjoy life. From that space of healthy detachment, you can actually enjoy everything all the more. And you get to not be cut off from experiences because you're afraid of the discomfort or anything like that, because you won't even truly be totally discomfort, because it's just your body or your emotions that are uncomfortable, not you. And when I talk about this, it's already theoretical until you actually experience it, until you start working with it on a daily basis. And by starting to work into your emotions and look at these concepts and experience all of it and feel the pain and know that you're not that, and then it just feeds itself. And then you keep moving into a space of, by having that detachment from the emotions, it allows you to experience more of the emotions. And as you experience more of the emotions, then it frees you up from them and you become more into that space of the observer. By becoming the observer, you become a more active participant in this world. And then it becomes just a big fucking play. And then next thing you know, it's all fucking over. So stop all the bullshit and just enjoy your life. And Lakesha Lakin, I am you, you are me. Namaste. What? Too much?